All right, so today's question of the day is collecting on unpaid balances. Can I use a collection agency? So this one has come up a lot more frequently. Using a collection agency can be tricky and a little scary for practice owners. I'll briefly cover a few things you want to keep in mind if you decide to use a collection agency. I want to be very clear, I'm not telling you whether to do it or not, I'm just telling you some things you should think about if you decide to. So as always, I want to thank our partners over at TherapyNotes for sponsoring this Q&A. TherapyNotes is the practice management system that I use. It just makes your practice life easier. I also love that it is super user-friendly and billing is seamless. And so check them out for free for 3 months by entering our code MIMH at therapynotes.com. So if you're thinking about using a collections agency, it's likely because you've amassed some aging client accounts with balances due. You want to ensure that your informed consent in your financial services agreement includes information about your use of a collections agency and any associated fees. You also want to ensure that you understand the statute of limitations in your state. You need to have a clear policy around when clients are turned over to collections. It needs to be clearly communicated to clients in advance, again, in the informed consent. So you have to release some sensitive client information to the collection agency in order for them to engage in asset recovery. This does not necessarily mean PHI. You should have a collection agency that is licensed or registered to practice in your state. And I know that this may seem like a no-brainer, but some collections agencies will take you on as a client even though you're out of their jurisdiction. So this increases the odds that they may not actually know the laws in your state, and they may operate in a way that further puts your business at risk. So in addition to clients consenting to collection activity and any of the associated fees, you also have to obtain information that verifies the client's identity, such as their driver's license, date of birth, and their social security number. These are things that are necessary to help with validating the debt and contract tracing to assist with asset recovery. So usually at this point in the conversation, many clinicians kind of back off of their idea to utilize a collection agency because it feels a little invasive or harsh for some therapists. And I want to remind you that this is a business decision. So having a solid contract with the collection agency and making sure you have a copy of their malpractice policy. So there are some downsides to utilizing a collection agencies, and I think that it's just important to identify what those are. So it increases the likelihood that a client will leave a negative review. This doesn't mean that you did anything wrong or that you shouldn't move forward. It means that it is likely to impact your rating. It's just what it is. It can also impact the therapeutic relationship and future referrals. Again, disgruntled clients tend to be louder, right? It's just what it is. It also may not be aligned with how you want to engage in business. This is likely a heart-centered decision for some clinicians, and you have to make that decision for you. So here are some things to consider alongside using a collection agency. Optimizing your accounts receivable by collecting client payments at the time service is rendered, giving clients the options of payment plans, having an internal collection process before you outsource it. I think all of those could be helpful. If you'd like additional support and resources, just make sure you're following us on our Mastering Insurance for Mental Health Professionals page. We post a ton of resources and tips every single day. And so you don't have to hesitate or wait to reach out and get some support. So I hope that was helpful for you. If you have comments, feel free to drop them below, and I'll see y'all later.